Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salut and welcome. So good to see every single one of you on this fine Tuesday. A fine Tuesday for talking, I think. At least that's how I feel about it. I hope you're all doing well. Let me know what you're sipping on or munching on, as the case might be. It is lunchtime after all. I want to say hi to the first person that I saw come in today, and that's Big Al of Big Al Presents. We are now well into George Harrison June. So this Saturday, looking forward to hanging out with Big Al and watching Love at First Bite, which I have not seen in years. So I'm looking forward to that. He says, hello, everyone. Have a great show, my friend. Yes, thank you so much. Check out his most recent review that I have queued up in my to watch after this stream. I just can't remember the name of the movie because it's a movie I'd never heard of before, which is oftentimes the case with new movies that Big Al is reviewing. If it weren't for Big Al, I wouldn't know what's playing at the theaters these days. Netter of Netter's Network, who was embroiled in a meeting when I was upstairs earlier. She said, last call with Troy Pacelli. Hello, love of my life. Hello, my dear. I love you too. Good to see you. She says, as she always does, because she's my biggest cheerleader, she says, like, share, subscribe, become a member. Yes, please do that. I would very much appreciate that. Speaking of members, there's the bird woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. One of my first members. Thank you so much for being here, Connie. Always good to see you. And one of my VIP members. Salute to you, Lester Skeptic Tank Obsessions. See, I am learning to read. Even when I think I know who I'm talking to, I'm going to read that banner there, because sometimes you guys change your name on me. I want to make sure I'm up to date with your current nomenclature. Tuning and working. That's the whole idea behind the stream. That's exactly what Liquid Lunch is for. Now, I do not necessarily condone people working through their lunches, but I do know that people do it from time to time. Is that a typo of Hamilton or is it did you actually intend Hamilton? Mountainhead. See, I've never heard of Mountainhead before. You know, if you weren't reviewing it, I would never have heard of that. Jonathan Conroy says, "Hail all. Liked, smashed, iced tea in hand." There you go, my friend. Is that a Long Island iced tea? Or one of those, just normal, southern sweet tea type things? George Hamilton. That's what it was. Fair enough. Hello. Avoid the new movie Tornado? Okay, I hadn't heard about it, so I probably wouldn't have seen it anyway, but there you go. You're welcome. Deleted and I ranted about that film together on last night's live stream. There you go. Yeah, avoid tornadoes at all costs. Get underground if you can, and do all the things that they say to stay safe. Let's see here. Did I say George Harrison? I got my mind set on you. I gotta get more lyrics instead of repeating all the time. Anyway, guys, today is Tuesday. It is Tuesday Talk, which means I'm looking to you guys. What do you guys want to talk about? I'll talk about anything. Don't expect me to get all ranty if you guys want to talk about the main topic that most people are talking about with all the fire and the rocks and all that kind of stuff. I will talk about that if that's where you decide you want to go, but I'm not going to rant about it because it's half a country away from me. People have garnered what they voted for and voted for again and then recalled and voted for again and recalled and voted for again. So, sorry, you get what you pay for, right? Live with it. Just saying. I think we have a lot going on besides just that. I do think that how the administration handles it is going to set how effective the next 3 years is going to be. So now's the time to put up or shut up. Just saying. I think something I can generally say about all the topics we might, want to cover. Celebrities are idiots. Celebrities don't know anything more than you do. They are probably less informed than you are. So whatever their take is, probably wrong. Probably wrong right off the bat. Welcome, Samuel Procter. Also good to see you as well. I've been having a blast reading a ton of Robert E. Howard for the first time. That's great stuff. That is great stuff. His style has become a huge inspiration and help for my short story I am halfway done writing. I look forward to hearing more about that. Yeah, Robert E. Howard is, I don't think enough people realize how much of an influence he has been on many of the other things that you enjoy. In fact, he was a contemporary of what's his name? Lovecraft. He was a contemporary of Lovecraft. Drew on a lot of the same mythos. So if you are a big fan of Lovecraft and you are aware of how much the Lovecraft mythos has permeated many other areas of lore, of some of your favorite franchises, well, some of that you might actually attribute to Robert E. Howard. Yeah, and just like Lovecraft, you really do want to read the original source material, because all the films and adaptations people have tried to do of them over the years have been inadequate, I think, is probably the best adjective I can think of. Inadequate. I'm not going to go as far as many would say that maybe their writings cannot be interpreted in another medium, or shouldn't be interpreted in another medium. But there is a lot of challenges there that need to be overcome. I think someone who is sufficiently understanding of the source material and the storytelling and what needs to be translated could do it. But there's very few writers left in Hollywood, I think, that could do that. Guillermo del Toro might be one, but he's got a lot of other pokers in the fire. I don't mind floating the flag of one's national origin, but not at the expense of the nation you migrated to. If you're so proud of the former, find ways to fix it. Just saying, as a first-generation immigrant. Well, let me tell you something else. If you are going to go and hurl rocks at law enforcement agents and the military, and cause violence while waving that flag, seems like you are declaring war on the United States in the name of that country. That sounds like an insurgency that we can send our military after. Just saying. But if you are a peaceful protester, well, then you're just telling us that if we do decide that your protest is not in our nation's best interests, we know what country we can give you a free ride back to. Right? Just saying. I do recommend, although most of my listeners probably already know this, anyone that disagrees with what I just said, maybe look into the law a little bit more. Pay a little less attention to the rhetoric that you've been getting from social media, and pay a little more attention to the actual law and know what it is. Right? When politicians say no one is above the law, that means no one is above the law. No elected official is above the law, and millions of illegal immigrants are above the law. It applies to everyone, or it applies to no one. The Arnold Conan movies are good, but he's also very different from the original Conan. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. He's a lot slower and awkward and less intelligent, whereas Howard's version has the speed of Disney's Tarzan. I will draw a parallel here and say, and everything you just said here, 100% true, absolutely true. I would say that we have the same problem with the film interpretation of James Bond. He is good. Most iterations of Bond historically have been good. Maybe the most recent iteration wasn't that good, but James Bond was good. But a lot of elements were missed, and he's a very different character than the way he's portrayed in the films. And I would like, in this age of constant reboots, let's do a friggin', faithful reboot. Let's do a reboot that goes back to the source material and interprets it faithfully. I'm talking about, Howard as well as Fleming, just saying. Yes. And welcome, Rosefire. Good to see you as well. She's agreeing with what Lester said. I have found that to be true as well. Lester caveated what he said as someone who is a first-generation immigrant. And I found that to be very true of many immigrants who see what's happening, they tend to be very anti-illegal immigration, right? When they've gone through the headache and the heartache of becoming a citizen, and doing it legally, and it's not an easy thing to do. Look, it's just like you when you're in a long queue waiting for the release of your Chinese sweatshop made electronic device or whatever, or some new toy that's coming out in limited editions or something like that, and you're in a long queue and someone comes butting in and wants to just cut in line, you get pissed. Well, that's how legal immigrants feel when they see these kinds of yahoos, right? Civilized men are more discourteous than savages because they know they can be impolite without having their skulls split, as a general thing. Robert E. Howard, good quote. Yeah, that is true, but there are civilized men who recognize how uncivilized they really are and, walk softly and carry a big stick, I think a Conan adaptation would best suit anime. You know what? Ooh. In the style of Ralph Bakshi. That would probably be the best, but that's just my thought. And at this point, I would say that, unless it was, someone who was truly operating in the spirit of Ralph Bakshi, I don't think Western animators would be capable of such a thing. There is this mentality that animation means kid stuff. So you almost have to go anime. You almost have to go anime if you want to do something like this. It's unfortunate, but I think it's true. Hey, Gerald! I haven't seen you in a long time. This is an interesting way to reconnect with an old co-worker. Good to see you, my friend. It has been many years. Glad to see you moving up. Well, I don't know that I'm moving up, but I am doing the YouTube thing. Absolutely. I was just saying to Mark Malnikoff the other day. I said, yeah, since I went full-time YouTube, now I'm working for a real bastard, a real taskmaster. He's an asshole, that bald Italian guy I work for. Glad to see you moving up. Regards to the missus, and keep up the great work. Yes, Netter is listening in right now as she works, just as so many people are. I hope that you enjoy the stream today. This is a very loosey-goosey one. I usually, during the week, my liquid lunch is generally a little bit more on a particular topic. But Tuesdays, I tend to go kind of freeform and leave it open to the audience to tell me what it is they would like to discuss. And I hope that I earn a subscription from you. Hit that subscription button. Hit that notification bell. Come on back every weekday at noon Central. And I know unless you've moved, you're still in Central Time Zone. And share your lunch with me. Matanui is in the house, saying hi. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Following up on the Conan narrative, Conan in the style of the original Batman animated series, I'd love too. That would be an interesting take. I'm having a hard time imagining it, but I'd totally be open to that. That big, broad shoulders, sweeping, fighting. Yeah, I could totally see that. That would work. That would be cool. Stone Cold Loki, whom everybody in this chat should be subscribed to. He's got a wonderful morning show. Very, he's the kind of guy I want to be when I grow up. He is YouTube goals. YouTube doesn't like my account. Well, you must be doing something right. But I've been running into very similar problems, Loki. I have a hard time remembering, but I do hope that you are on Rumble. I do tend to go through my the people I subscribe to on YouTube and check to see if I can find them on Rumble too. And everyone else should do that too, because if there's somebody that you're following in any streaming medium, check and see if they're multi-streaming, because if anything happens to the preferred platform, you will find them elsewhere in the future. Support however you can. It's the only way you can keep creators like us going. Really, really. Thought I'd pop in for a bit during the afternoon slump. That's exactly what Liquid Lunch is all about. No, Ralph Bakshi was self-limiting himself to rotoscoping. Conan is larger-than-life character that really cannot contain correctly. Again, the Disney Tarzan animated by Glenn Keane is a perfect example. Disney uses rotoscoping too. Just remember that. Come on, yes. Netter wants the thumbs up. Remember, this channel is absolutely under assault by trolls. Whether it's people, trolling in the comments or hitting that thumbs down button, kind of throwing the ratios off. Guys, anything you can do to keep my numbers up, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. There's a Richard Williams animated aftershave commercial from the 80s inspired by Conan. It's epic and will fill you with testosterone. Well, yes, testosterone is a good thing. Unfortunately, we live in a world that's trying to limit it. They think that this very natural thing that makes our species work is toxic in some way. And I will not have it. I will not have it. I identify as male and masculine. And if you don't like it, too bad. That's what I take pride in. So there you go. It's Men's Health Month. To health. Yeah. I think I do see the worm turning. I do. I see that people are starting to stand up, pull up their pants, and say, enough is enough. Enough is enough. You are not looking for respect. You are not looking for equal rights and equal opportunity. You are claiming yourself a supremacist. Your in-group is using the tactics of supremacists. It really is. And we're sick and tired of it. Look, SCOTUS ruled on it just recently unanimously. When both wings of SCOTUS are unanimous on something, you should stop and pay attention. You really, really should. But yeah. That is, and that's why I guess I am not sweating the things that just seem so big. Maybe the older I get, the more I realize I've seen stuff like this before. Sometimes it happens close to home. Sometimes it happens farther away. By and large, these things tend to burn themselves out. Unless there's somebody throwing gasoline on those fires. And honestly, I do have to say, that is how big insurrections happen. We've seen them around the world, and I just shake my head. I just shake my head when I see people who should know better falling for the same historical mistakes over and over and over again, right? Santayana said, those who will not learn from history are destined to repeat it. And you watch it happen over and over and over again. And ignorance is not the same as stupidity. Ignorance is a lack of knowledge. And oftentimes, it's willful ignorance. It's a choice. You choose to be ignorant. I guess choosing to be ignorant is stupid. I guess that's what I'm really getting at. Good luck keeping Troy in line. She's had 33 years of practice. If she can't, nobody can. But let me tell you something. She does. She really, really does. I mean, she's... there's nothing good about me without Netter. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you and the wife and kids are doing well, too, by the way. You have a lovely family. And I hope you are doing very, very well. Yeah, so since you're here and since you're new to the channel, although Liquid Lunch only started a couple weeks back, I've been doing the YouTube thing regularly since COVID, you know. So for almost 4 years now. I started Last Call every Friday night at 9 Central, 10 Eastern, as a way to get together with friends, have a drink like we used to do after work, get together, have drinks, decompress, you know, all that kind of stuff. But and so that's how Last Call came about. And then from there, you know, I kind of expanded, ended up filling in as a backup on someone else's Sunday news show, which eventually evolved into Geeky Geezers every Sunday at 8 Central. Myself and Aged Boomer, who lives in Florida, we talk about the week's geek news, everything you need to know or should know. Oh, thank you so much, Big Al. I can check out that aftershave commercial after the stream's over. So yeah, and Netter and Big Al have movie rewatches every Saturday night. So I'm pretty much streaming every day. Speaking of, let me tell you what we got coming up tonight. I'm not winding down the stream necessarily, but I figure as long as we're on the topic, I'll tell you what we got coming up tonight. Tonight at... Well, I don't know. I don't see deleted scenes here, but so it's going to be like 7:30. Not sure exactly what time. We will be finishing up the Spice Diver edit of Dune on live from Sparkwood and 21. That simulcasts on Deleted Scenes channel, my channel, Netters, and Aged Boomers. And for all these rewatches, of course, we have a link to the off-platform stream of the feature so that you can watch along with us even if you don't have your own copy. But you would absolutely have to be here live to watch that along with us. Followed immediately afterwards at 10 Central, the next episode of Blake 7. We are about the midway point of Season 3, where things start getting really, really good. Again, link in the chat so you can watch the episode along with us. Right now, I have a note out to James Reckert, our guest from last Friday, who was having some really serious technical difficulties. I'm hoping to work with him tomorrow behind the scenes with his sound system so that he can rejoin us, this time on Netter's channel on Thursday for Thursday Things. If you weren't there last Friday, this will be a great opportunity to meet James Manhands Reckert. He is the hand stand-in from that episode of Seinfeld, where he played Jerry was dating a girl with so-called man hands. Well, it was his hands that you saw in those scenes as part of that gag. He's also had a great history behind the scenes, behind the cameras. And he can tell us a great deal about what he does and what some of those titles are that you see go by in the closing credits of movies that you don't know who they are or what they do, but they are incredibly, incredibly important. Sometimes as important as the people that you see in front of the camera. Just saying. Highly skilled people that know very technical things, and the movie couldn't happen without them. You can swap out actors, and they oftentimes do, but sometimes those technical guys are in short supply, and they're very, very valuable. And speaking of Last Call this Friday, I will be joined by Stark of Iron. I was on his channel a couple weeks ago, and he's going to return the favor and be on my channel. Looking very forward to that. I look forward to having a drink with him. He's just the kind of guy you want to have a drink with, you know. He's good people. You should definitely be following him if you aren't already. I personally believe that streaming is the new form of entertainment. People are cutting the cable. I don't know if satellite TV is even a thing anymore. Streaming is, you know, you can only subscribe to so many streaming channels. Most people can only subscribe to one. So not all of them are being watched, but, you know, YouTube and Rumble and the other platforms, for the most part, are free. You know, so this is where people are coming for their news, their commentary, their geek information, behind the scenes, all of it you're getting from people like me. Well, not people like me, people that know more than I do, but in general, you know, I'm a good jumping off point, if nothing else. Which reminds me, I'm going to, my goal is to always redirect you guys to another channel when we finish up. I just don't know who's live. Like, I think what I'm going to do, I don't know if they're still going to be live when we wrap up here, but when we're done, I'm going to forward you on to WDW Pro. They're currently on air right now, and it's my hope that they will still be when you get there and you tell them, hey, Troy sent us over, so he knows that we are good supporters of his channel. WDW Pro has all the inside skinny on what's going on with the rat and all those parks. He's associated with that park place. By the way, that park place is a great web page that you should check out. I get most of my information there. They have their finger on the pulse of pop culture and vacation spots, and definitely should be checking them out. I do think, though, that I may end up keeping this short. You guys are kind of quiet today for a Tuesday. So if you don't have a topic that you wanted to discuss, if you don't have any questions for me, maybe I'll kind of start winding this down and get you guys over to WDW Pro. And you could put in a good word for me, and who knows, maybe I could become a contributor over there. You never know. Maybe they want a good-looking Italian guy in a fedora. Or someone like me. I don't know. Anyway. So, there you go. I actually did kind of wrap up, didn't I? I didn't intend to, but I kind of did. I went through the week, told you everything that's coming up, you know, I guess maybe I'll send you guys over to WDW Pro tomorrow. Don't know what I'll be talking about, but I'll have a scripted topic planned. You take on the 2-week notice business. Oh, too late I was. Yeah, that is one of the problems with the chat. You guys are usually like 30 seconds behind me, and it also takes you time to type. So if you're referring to something farther back, you take on the 2-week notice business. Oh, my take on the 2-week notice business. Okay, well, it depends on what you're referring to. If you mean if you're going to be leaving a job and you're going to give 2 weeks notice, it's nice, but I don't think it's necessary anymore. They can't demand it, and I don't think they expect it anymore. Why do I say that? Because when has a company ever let you go and given you 2 weeks notice? They don't. They call you in on a Friday. They say, Thank you for your service. We've already cut off your access to the network. Here's a box. Get your stuff. We'll escort you out. Okay, fine. So when I leave a company, I'm going to say, bye. I don't need to give you notice. You wouldn't give me notice. I'm not giving you notice. Yes, see, you absolutely agree with me. You absolutely agree. Employers rarely give any notice. Exactly right. Even if there's a reduction in force and they want to, what they tend to do is they give you a severance. They say, today's your last day, and we'll pay you for 2 weeks, or we'll pay you for, maybe more if you've been with the company a long time, But they don't keep you coming back, generally. I also think that this is indirectly related to an opinion that I have about the corporate world. I think people have lost the ability to negotiate. There's a channel that Netter and I watch that do these skits about a retail outlet, and they obviously exaggerate for humor's sake, but manager calls in an employee and says he's doing such a great job, we want to give you all this more responsibility, and she lists all this ridiculous amount that she's going to lay on him. She says, was there anything else? Yeah, I was wondering, if anything comes with that. Yes, you will also get a huge increase in our respect. And he's like, yeah, well, I was kind of thinking maybe, like a raise in pay. She's like, oh, you disappoint me. I thought that you were a team player and this and that. And I'm like, they exaggerate it ridiculously. But that's the kind of thing you always get from these companies, right? And I do think that people feel cowed, and they're like, oh, okay, if I want to keep my job, I guess I got to keep doing more work for the same amount of money. And it's like, no, you do not have to. You don't. What you say is, I took a job with certain responsibilities and I agreed to a certain pay. If you're going to raise those responsibilities, you have to increase the pay, or I won't be doing it. I decline. Thank you. And if you're going to fire somebody every time you try to pull this, you're going to just keep ending up with a rotation in people. You're going to get less service. The customers will not be happy with the service they receive, and your business will suffer. That's the way business works. You need to understand that. I saw that you got involved with Doomcock a week or so back. How did that come about? That's a great question. Yeah, we talked about that on Netter's channel the following day. I did kind of keep quiet about it up until then, because it did seem like a huge deal to me, and I'm like, until I actually appear on the show, I don't feel like it's a real thing. But what happened was, it kind of goes back to earlier in March. Was it February or March? I forget. Whenever MegaCon was. Gary Ambrosia, a guy, a prop guy. He's a prop guy and actor. He's done a lot of work in Hollywood. He's got an IMDb page. Check him out. And his channel, he does a lot of restorations of props. One of his most recent videos, he did a restoration of the dedication plaque from the Enterprise D, in fact. He contacted us and said, hey, you going to MegaCon? And we were like, when is it? And he's like, well, like in 2 weeks. And Netter's like, well, let me see if we can do it. And she looks and she's like, Troy, do you want to go down to MegaCon? I'm like, God, I'd love to go down to MegaCon. And we made the crazy decision to drive down to Florida from Chicago. We did it. Now we know we could do it again if we were going to. We've learned some lessons there. But what was great about that was I got to hang out with Gary Ambrosia and like 3 other people that regularly appear on Doomcock's show, right? Got to meet WDW Pro, got to meet Jonas J. Campbell from that park place. So yes, I know what they really look like. Not just their icons and whatnot. And of course, I got to hang out with Culture Casino, whom I already knew from being a member on his channel and whatnot. Yes, I got one of his casino chips. Sorry, Mexican Iron Man. If you don't get together with him in person, you can't complain when you don't get a casino chip. But so yeah, it was all that networking I did and I didn't think of it as networking at the time, but I guess technically that's what I was doing. So when somebody from Doomcock's pop culture breakdown wasn't going to be able to make a show, he had an opening on his panel, and he said, "Well, we need someone to fill in." And Gary's like, "Well, hey, I know this guy Troy," and he's like, "I don't know Troy." He goes, "Sure, you know Troy." He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "He's been a member of your channel, and I hung out with him at MegaCon, and Andy Masters is like, yeah, he's an okay guy." And Nick, from Echo Base was like, yeah, I think I remember him. So like I had some people kind of pulling for me. He's like, okay, I'll give him a try. And he had me on, and I think it went really well. No, I know it went really well, because Doomcock himself told me behind the scenes, he's like, "Man, you really fit in here." He says, "Not a lot of people, just come and just totally fit in." And I'm like, "Well, I was hanging out with like half your panel in Florida a couple months ago, and interact with you guys, on social media all the time." I'm like, I do feel like I'm one of the gang. He's like, "Well, you totally do fit in." He says, "If we need somebody to fill in again in the future, love to have you back." I'm like, I'll be there. Which reminds me, what we talked about on Doomcock that night was we talked about the movie The Untouchables, and that very week my mom had asked me to go to the cemetery to put flowers on the graves there, and I figured as long as I was there, I was going to stop at Al Capone's grave. And so I got some camera footage of the grave. I got to post that when I get a chance. Probably sometime this week. It's got to go up. I got to get more standalone videos up on my channel. But regarding the business commentary, yeah. So awesome. Had to be nervous, right? I want to be cool and go, nah, I do this all the time, not a problem. And to some degree, I guess there's some truth in that. I have a long history in performing arts. I don't think of it, that, on the nose. I've done theater. I did professional theater. Actually, before we met, I did professional theater. I did a lot of high school plays. I did plays, at the church I used to belong to. So memorizing and performing is not a problem for me. This improvisational type thing, all the time. Used to do lectures and commentaries for different companies that I worked for, training and so forth. So talking in front of people is not a big deal for me. But I'll be honest, yeah. When Doomcock asked me to be on, I was a little bit nervous, because you want to make a good impression. I knew it would be potentially good for my channel. I knew if I made a good impression and he'd have me back, that could help too. So there was a bit of nervousness, the kind of nervousness you get when you go on a job interview, if I'm completely honest. But I felt that way until I was on. Once I was on, no problem. It was just another stream. That's kind of how I am. I'll be nervous until I go live, and then I'm live, and I'm just doing what I do. I was the same way when I started Liquid Lunch a couple weeks ago. I know. Why would this be any different than a Friday stream or Geeky Geezers or any other show that I do? But for whatever reason, it was a new show, and I was nervous, and for like the first week, I was nervous every time I was getting ready to go live for Liquid Lunch. I think I've gotten over that since then. I remember a play that I did at church where I played Paul before the Sanhedrin. And, I had practiced and memorized and whatnot. And I was really nervous before I went on. And I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I do this? I hate this feeling. I'm never going to do these skits ever again. As soon as I walked out on stage, all that went away. Did my performance. I felt great. I asked for feedback. Did I do okay? Everyone thought I did a great job. Okay. Well, I guess that's why I do this. This is why I perform, right? So was I nervous? Yeah, I was nervous, but I tend to get over it pretty quick. And if I come back, then, I decided I did okay. So there you go. So, guys, that is the show for today. I really am going to wrap it up now. I went over yesterday, so I really need to pull it back a little bit. Please, Gerald, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. Love to see you back. If this is a good lunchtime for you and you're able to make it, great. I would love to see you. If you can make it for Friday is a lot of fun. Watch me, I'm not just having one. I'm having multiples on Friday. So I get good and sloshed on Friday. Some people think I get funnier as I go. I probably do, but I don't have the nerve to go back and watch one of my streams. So just saying. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all so much for coming and sharing your lunch with me. It's always great to hang out with you guys. You guys really are the glue that holds all this together. I super appreciate every single one of you. You guys take care. And I'll see you on the next one. Salute.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high.